Hello, this is Paul Ricci from Allegheny Independent Media. Today I'm interviewing Alexis Zinovenko, who's the head of Pride of Somerset County. And yes, I'm sorry, I'm making my own mistake. She runs the group. So this is their Facebook page. They're currently working on a new website. So yes, that's an image of the Somerset County Courthouse with an LGBTQ QIA flag. So yes, this is a support community for those, in the LGBTQ plus community. So yes, and these are some of the events they have had in the past. So okay, well, all right. So now I'm gonna stop the share and then, okay, so can you tell me like the history of your organization?
I came out as a trans woman in 2012, 10 years ago,
Yes.
and there was nothing in this county for me.
Mm,
There were no doctors, no hospitals, no support groups, no peer groups, no clinics,
mm,
nothing. I was 55 then.
mm,
And I was not going to resort to taking my own life or self-harming or finding a substance to abuse. But I never felt as lonely as I did at that point in time because I realized I was not seen in this county as a transgender person. I had just given away any type of privilege or rights that I had as a hetero male before that.
mm,
I was no longer welcome in many places.
mm.
And I never want anybody to feel that lonely again.
Yeah. Just so you had to take a lot of flack from your family and friends.
Oh yeah, I lost my job and I lost the status and tenure that I had accrued in 55 years. I lost my family.
Mm,
Uh, there was a lot that was given up, and I think a lot of transgender people give a lot up when they do that. They uh, they give away their previous life,
mm. Yeah.
and it's starting over.
But they don't necessarily regret that doesn't mean they regret their decision.
No, I think many are glad. I think many are far more happier that it's going to take some time to find support. And one of the reasons we're here is for support for the entire LGBT community, not just people who are transgender. Uh,
Okay.
but that was really how this came about, and it took me a lot of years to actually put this together until 2019 when we had our first meeting.
Yeah. So what was your job before? Like what were you working as?
Before that, I had worked as a supervisor or a manager, I should say, at Sony Electronics in
Oh,
in Mount Pleasant.
okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. So how many members do you have right now, like in your organization?
It is hard to say. I mean, I never. There is really no membership form or whatever that we ask people to fill out or whatever. But and it's kind of hard because sometimes people move out of the area, they're not around, or they get another job, they can't attend the meetings. And all in all, I would say, between 15 and 20.
Okay. Well, certainly, I guess you have a good core group. Yes, I've seen you at lots of events here in Johnstown. So, okay. And yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess maybe, so could you tell me some of the issues that might be specific to, say, this area or this part of Pennsylvania or Somerset County that may not be faced in other, like say, in other regions?
I think one of the problems that we have in this area is that we have so many healthcare disparities that exist for the LGBT community, which is to say, it shouldn't be, we should not have to travel 60 miles to
Hmm.
Pittsburgh or further,
Yeah.
or to Erie or to Altoona. And because we are a small area, it takes a loud voice for insurance companies to notice that we're here and to bring in basic services that right now are not provided. Plus, I think that there needs to be more awareness of what you hear on TV and what you hear printed in print media is not necessarily the case. We're not the boogeyman.
Hmm.
We're just trying to people. We're just people, trans men and trans women, trying to live our lives.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And yes. So I mean, so is it just a lot? I guess so. I mean, like creating the right clinics here in the area. Say, like it's. So you say the problem is creating like the right clinics in Somerset County, or just attracting like the right healthcare practitioners here. Is that's part of the problem?
That is a big part. That it is a metro versus rural issue. It is a class and caste issue that exists. And I think that we need to make the insurance companies, whether they are UPMC or whether they are others in the area, aware that there are people here that need care, no matter where they fit in the LGBTQ spectrum.
Mhm.
Um, that they need proper care. And by that, I mean mental health and physical health.
Okay. I mean, I know, I guess so. Is Medicaid, do they cover a lot of transgender, like, a lot of these, the healthcare that transgender individuals need?
Some of the Medicare does, yes. I mean, I can't speak for all of them because I don't know all of them. But United Healthcare was always good to me as far as hormones went.
Mhm.
So when I blocked hormones and took new hormones, they were fine. Now that I have UPMC Medicare, they do the same. So as far as Aetna and Gateway and some of these others, I couldn't say. Some are more progressive than others.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yes. So, I mean, so obviously access, so it's more of a geographical issue than, say, of an insurance issue, would you
Yes,
say? For,
well, it is. In rural areas throughout the United States, LGBTQ people are hurting. They're not seen, they're not heard, and sadly, a lot of them have become complacent into not raising their voices or not demanding change or not trying to force an issue because they've been ignored for so many years.
yeah, and I guess and sometimes they're afraid of a backlash.
That could well be too. Yes.
Hmm. Okay. Yes. So yes, I mean, I realize. So would you say the number of people at least willing to get these treatments and, like the number of, say, transgender individuals, would you say it's increased?
Yes.
So,
By more than what people were being led to believe through media, whatever type of media that is, whether it's print media or TV media.
hmm.
I think this generation right now, the young generation right now, has the biggest opportunity of any generation to live their lives however they wish to live them,
Hmm.
and more so than I'm a boomer, more
Yeah.
so than me, than
Hmm.
what I did, and we are building a great background to an infrastructure, a support system, a backup support system. We are building care for these folks, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
They are going to have resources available to them that no one else has.
Okay. And I guess the Supreme Court's decision in 2015 that legalized same-sex marriage. So, I mean, has that also been a boon for like for individuals being more willing to stand up to stand.
Well, it's possible. I don't know that all that much. I know that many same-sex people who were not legally married, but still consider themselves to have a partnership in 2015 never turned around to get legally married.
Hmm.
They said we've been living together for a few years. And Pennsylvania had legalized same-sex marriage before the Supreme Court did. So, we were a little bit ahead of them
Hmm.
as far as that. But I do think that that creates a safety net for a lot of same-sex people, which I'm glad exists.
Hmm. I mean, I know I was involved like in say 20, I think that was 2017 when the LGBT community in Johnstown, they were trying to pass Bill 5. That was an anti-discrimination ordinance,
Uh-huh.
but it was voted down. So yes, I remember being involved with that. So was your
I
phone
do,
ringing?
it is, but it's turned off now. But thank you. I do remember that in Johnstown, but I only followed it vaguely at the time.
Okay. So generally, would you say you're experiencing more, just generally more support from the community?
I think so. I think the more the people are comfortable in being themselves and getting out and being themselves around, like you said, events in Johnstown, etc., or events in Somerset or Greensburg or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, the more they see representation, and the more they see just people trying to, either have a good time or enjoy the event or have fun.
Hmm.
I think the more they see that, the better it is. And I hope that, whenever I'm seen out in public by somebody, I hope somebody who sees me from afar, I give them courage to be who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Okay. Okay. Well, certainly your efforts are very laudable. So, um, I guess maybe we could talk about like say a lot of like what's going on in the political arena. I mean, for a long time in the past, maybe gay bashing was considered more acceptable,
mhm.
but now it seems like in the media, transgender bashing and trying to make an issue out of transgender women in sports,
Yeah,
that seems to be more of a hot button issue.
it does.
So, yeah, do you have any comments on that?
Well, I think we're recycling the same hate. The same hate and divisionism that we showed people who are gay and lesbian in the 60s and 70s, back when lesbian women were called the Lavender Menace.
Yeah.
And, and fast forward to the 80s, whenever AIDS hit and gay men were vilified for that. I think we're seeing the same hate arise with the transgender. And the reason we're seeing it is because people aren't afraid to be that or try to be that. And before they were always closeted folks that, you know, occasionally you saw one or two on TV and they were from New York City or San Francisco or something,
Mhm.
but now they're in Johnstown and Somerset and different, Greensburg. Um, so yeah, there's going to be backlash because these people are brave enough. I'm not saying me, but they're brave enough to say, this is me, and I'm going to do what I have to do to be the person that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So I remember in the 90s there was a gay bar that was on Somerset Pike that was driven out of town that was forced to close by the Ku Klux Klan and the Anabaptists. Like were you involved in that at all?
Not at all. I mean, I know the bar you're talking about, and I'm not going to give them my publicity by saying their name, obviously, but
Well,
yes, I.
what they're called now.
Yeah, right, yes. So yeah, no, that I was not involved in that. As I said, I came out in 2012.
Yeah.
Uh, so that was really my point of starting to look for activism.
Mhm. So, I mean, yeah, so you have to weigh lots of things before you make those decisions.
Oh yeah, it wasn't hard for me. I mean, I said to myself one night, "Look, Alexis, you have a choice. You're your ex has now left, and you can continue living a lie,
Hmm.
or you can live your truth. And in a second, I said, I'll live my truth, because if you're not true to yourself, you can't be true to anyone else.
Yes. Well, certainly that's true. And excuse me. Um, okay. So yes, I mean, so a lot of the rhetoric you were hearing, say, out of the, let's say, out of, a lot of the politicians like Doug Mastriano and Mehmet Oz. So did that scare you? A lot of what you heard from them?
It didn't scare me, it concerned me.
Yeah.
Um, they were misguided. They had believed lies. They probably did not even talk to people who were transgender, whether they were transmasculine or transfeminine. Uh,
Hmm.
but rather, they were to talking points that their party had put out, and their party was the party of scare, and probably still is, uh, as far as transgender people and transgender rights go.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. So, like, have you, like, do you know of like other incidents of, say, transgender people being attacked, or like other LGBTQ violence? Like, do you keep track of that?
I don't keep track of it all that much. I go on about once a month to look at totals online. There are some websites I think that do that.
Hmm.
But last November, I hosted an online event. Myself and four others did an online event on the Transgender Day of Remembrance, which
Yeah.
is November 20th every year.
Hmm.
And I had read the names of those who were violently, purposely, willfully killed last year
Hmm.
that were transgender or non-binary.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a very nice little event that we put together.
Okay. So this event, where was it at?
It was virtual.
Oh, virtual.
Yeah, it was virtual. It was virtual. It had myself and Rachel Allen played music, and
Mhm.
Sherry Ray from UPJ closed the meeting talking about hope and hope for tomorrow. And it was a very nice virtual event.
Mhm. So do you have strong opinions about, say, transgender athletes?
Well, I think that the transgender athletes, if they have been on hormones for longer than a year, should
Mhm.
be able to compete in the gender that they relate as. But I don't think that somebody can just come out uh, a month ago and say, "Okay, I want to compete with women or whatever," because the body modifications have not taken place yet. The weight shift has not taken place yet.
Mhm.
Um, I do not have the upper body strength and lower body strength I had when I was male. It's gone.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay. Yeah, I guess maybe people don't realize that, or they may look at someone like, say, Caitlyn Jenner, who I guess, well, she was a champion athlete as a man, and you know,
yes.
like they would think, okay, that would give her an unfair advantage over women.
Well, yeah. In that case, quite possibly because they were very athletic and had been throughout their entire lives, or an Olympic gold medalist and everything.
Mhm.
Um, but the body changes, and the mind changes as well.
Yeah.
Whether they are people are transmasculine or whether they are transfeminine. And
Okay.
yeah,
All right. And so, yeah, I remember you were saying, like, I mean, like, before we were talking about your concern about, trying to score political points, off of transgender issues. So is that still, so would you like to say more about that?
well, yeah, it angers me whenever I see politicians trying to score political points off of scare tactics and fear tactics, and which really aren't true. But whenever these political points become law, that's
Mm.
taking it to a whole different level, and we're seeing that now. And we just saw a bill signed yesterday. I think it's in Utah. That is one of the most discriminatory bills towards the LGBT community that there is. And you can be sure that the ACLU of Utah, the ACLU, GLAD, uh, many other organizations are going to gang up on this bill.
Mm. Okay. What about, I guess, are you concerned about the Supreme Court, being less sympathetic to these issues in the future?
Yes, I am, because I think the Supreme Court has become compromised.
Mm.
And I can remember in the '60s when the Warren Commission was investigating the Kennedy
Mhm.
assassination. No, I had a lot of respect for the Warren Commission, and I watched it over the years. Now there was no women on there,
Yeah.
and it was a pretty white Supreme Court as far as that goes. So I like it more now, but
Hmm.
I don't like it as compromise, and I don't like that they use religion as a guide.
Hmm.
This country was not founded as a theocracy.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, like, sometimes I wonder, like, hearing all this on the news about, say, George Santos, obviously he was gay and, may have been a drag queen at one time and using like all of his, some people using that as a way, as some kind of a proxy for gay bashing.
Yeah.
So, or trying to put those two. I mean, right now, I mean, like, I remember, like, in our state house race, we had, Frank Burns. He was claiming he didn't say anything specific about transgender individuals, but, he was claiming to be anti-woke, bashing wokeness in his campaign commercials. I mean, that may have been, some people might read into that, you know. I mean, he was also bashing Afghan refugees, like bringing them to the area. So yes, I mean, some people could read into that. Was he also attacking transgender individuals or the LGBTQ community
Mhm.
in a more of a dog whistly kind of way?
It could well be. I've met him a few times, and one to one, I never really had a problem talking to him. And he's going to be a very hard person in the district. He's not in my district.
Yeah.
In that district to beat. Frank is almost a shoe in for election. It's going to take somebody very strong.
Hmm.
Uh, but I never really got that feeling from him. But the first time I met him, I did have those concerns. How does Frank see people who are transgender or gender diverse, non-binary?
Okay. I guess certainly it's always important that when they start talking to each other and get to know each other. So, okay. Well, I think that pretty much covers everything, unless you had anything you would like to add.
No, not really. I mean, here we are in Somerset, pride of Somerset County, and we do mental health trainings for the LGBT community. We do outreach. Uh, we do activism. We do support groups, and we do a lot more than what a lot of people think. And so I just want to get the word out that we are here, and to reach out to our Facebook page, which I know that you put up a little bit earlier,
Mhm.
and to get involved.
Okay. Well, certainly. I mean, could you see yourself like expanding beyond Somerset County, say? I mean, I don't know if there's a pride of, I mean, I know John D. Bartola, he's active in organizing LGBTQ individuals in Cambria County, you know,
Mhm.
while being a Trump supporter. And, we're looking at, I don't know if there's a pride of Bedford County or Blair County.
Altoona does have one, and we probably will reach out to Altoona and probably do an event with them in the fall, but it won't be a Pride event. It will
Okay.
be it will be a mental health expo.
Or even some areas like Fayette County or
I can see that.
uh,
I've talked to Fayette County already about a number of partnerships. They haven't materialized yet, though.
okay. Well, I know, I guess Sydney Hovis, she might be a good person to talk to with her, with her blog, and she ran for state senate in the past. So,
She was a guest of mine at my Pride event last year.
oh, she was okay. Yes. Well, I remember meeting her at the the abortion rights rally we had on September 11th.
Right, because I remember speaking there.
So, okay. All right. Well, I think that pretty much covers everything for today. Well, I will be interviewing Rachel Allen and Tulsi Srivastava.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
both very dear women.
Okay, so yes. Well, I hope this interview is helpful for your movement. I'll be happy to to promote it. And well, if you have any other issues, you're always welcome to come back.
All right. Well, thank you so very much for having me. I appreciate that.
Okay, well, thank you, and well, we'll have a good day.
Yeah.
Okay.